Sup, it's your boy Big G, back again with yet another one of my journeys, another one of my stories, hoping to enlighten and educate you not to go to prison, because that's not the place to be for nobody. Now, as far as being a correction officer, I feel that it's a great job as long as you go in there to do the job and remember why you got that job. Okay, before I get into it, make sure you go get your copy of Corruption Officer. It's on Amazon.com. It's a book about my autobiography, about my life and trials and tribulations and everything I did, everything I witnessed, why I went to prison, why I was a correction officer, and why I went to prison, what led to my untimely demise, and I ended up doing jail time myself. So I'm going to get into it, right? One of the things that we know it goes on, unfortunately, is that drugs and contraband is being smuggled inside the jail. So I'm going to give you a full tutorial of how that happens. Nah, let me stop. But we all know that some cases COs bring it in, some cases visitors, family members bring it in for the inmate, but we know that it gets inside the jail. Now, one thing I will say, do you ever wonder how things get transported all around the jail? Like, it is literally a business. I had literally, I'm not going to say an organization. I'm just going to say I had things running like clockwork. But even I was in wonderment on how I found out how I can get product from one side of the jail to the next side of the jail. And I got to tell you, the human body is an incredible specimen. And I say that to say this. And this has nothing to do with somebody's preference, homosexuality, gay, or whatever, this and that. This is about self-preservation. Now, I'm going to say this. I would bring my product in. I had my workers, and I would get it dispersed throughout the jail, just like a drug dealer would be standing on the corner. However, jail's a bit different. You got different obstacles that you got to get by in order to get something that's not supposed to be in jail from one person to the next person to the next area, especially if they pay for it. So there's something called boofing. Boofing is when an inmate takes an item of no matter how small or how large and secretes it in his hind parts. So that's called boofing. Some dudes have been caught with X amount of cocaine and crack and stuff like that in jail. Some have been accused of boofing 20 years because that's what they got for the amount of drugs they got caught on them. Like I had one guy. He was a worker of my worker, because I didn't deal with too many people, but I know exactly who was doing what as far as my product that I bring inside the jail. Now, slim guy, I would bring in the product and they will bust them down into balloons, right? Round balloons. One time we had like 15 balloons and we was moving that around the jail. So my dumb behind went out the night before, went to the gambling spot, lost all my chips. All my chips. Somebody head crack. I think I lost like 6-7 grand in a matter of like 20 minutes. And I was twisted. But what happened with me, when you live in that life of a drug dealer, you know that money comes right back. So in my mind, all I had to do is go make this drop inside the jail and I could get my money back. Maybe not all of it the same day, but within that week, I'll be back all right. So that's what I did. So I came in with about 15 bundles. I came in with the product and the balloons. My workers took it to the cell and broke it down and put it in balloons and ready to distribute it, get it around the jail. So listen, I'm not worried about it. Double jeopardy. I already did my time. So what it is it was a slim worker, Spanish guy. You know what I'm saying? Named Flacco. And my boy told me this is how he gonna get it, because we was on the cell side and we need to get it all the way across to the dorm side. Normally I would wait, they'll probably do the exchange at in the rec yard or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So throughout jail, they got different stops. They got metal detectors placed throughout the jail. They got officers put in certain positions that got keys to certain gates that won't let you through certain gates and stuff like that. They're supposed to search you. They're supposed to check your ID, or you're supposed to have a pass saying where you're going inside the jail. That's the way it's normally supposed to go. And for the most part, that works. But within searching someone, human as the human being inside me, don't want to be sitting there looking at another man's butts, butthole all the time to make sure he doesn't have anything in there. For the simple fact is, unless something is hanging out that butthole, you're still not gonna know if he done secreted something inside his body. We don't found 7-inch shanks in there, and guarantee you somebody snuck in a P380 weapon, a gun inside the jail. So while I'm doing my thing, while I was doing my unlawful thing, I was wondering how was this inmate going to get all this stuff over to the other side. I had big orders. People had paid. I was making my money back. So I sat there, and my man Flacco and them went inside the cell, and they called themselves, packing, like at the post office. They was packing the package, getting ready for delivery. So I really didn't want to see it, so I didn't care to go in there to see it, but I knew that though it was a lot of balloons, it was a lot of bundles that this dude had to transport. So about an hour went by, my guy came and said, GB ready. So I wrote him a pass. The rec officer came for him to go to rec. So I'm thinking that's how he going to get it off. So when I went to lunch, I went to the yard to observe. I'm sitting there talking to the officers like I'm talking about the Knicks and I'm talking about that, but I'm really looking at my product and seeing how it's getting distributed. I swear to God, this dude had like 10 or 11 bundles secreted in his cavity. And I'm looking at this dude run up and down the basketball court, shooting, dunking, playing ball like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. Every now and then, when they win the game, I see him go over to the corner. You know what I'm saying? I know what's going on. He go over there, he take a quick squat, boom. Every time he squatted, he was releasing a bundle and handed it off to where it got to go. I was so amazed. Like it's crazy how people adjust to adapt to survive, because that's how he made his money. Boofing stuff and transporting stuff and getting stuff to certain areas. You understand what I'm saying? Had a guy boof a weapon. Like, their thing is, I'd rather get caught with this weapon on me to deal with my ops or my enemy than for me not to walk around with nothing and get caught out there with them. So I sit here and I'm saying things that people do for self-preservation. And I'm looking at this young man who miraculously made the transition, or he transported whatever it is I needed him to transport, but not for me, but just as surviving inside jail, he mastered the art of doing that for anybody, for people. They knew him. You want something to go there and get Flacco, because as an officer, an inmate comes, I can tell him, listen, I think you got weapons. Get against the wall. Pat him down. Don't find nothing. I think that you got drugs or something on you. Put your chin on there and see if you got razor blades and stuff like that, and sit him down. Listen, if he got a balloon full of weed, if he got a balloon full of coke or crack or whatever case may be, or at the time ecstasy was coming back up inside the jail, and they was putting it on stamps, on envelopes so the inmates can lick it and get high. They're trying many ways on getting that heroin and stuff inside the jail. So if you're an officer and you got an inmate that you think has something, unless you're doing a thorough, super cavity check, like no officer is allowed to stick his fingers up somebody's behind to check and see if they have anything in there. You're not going to see it. You're not going to see it. Trust me, every inmate that comes off the visit floor, they got a post called nuts and butts. Every officer hate it because it's funky. Some of the inmates don't clean. Some people are derelicts that come off the street that's not in the habit of washing and stuff like that. You still have to make them strip, take off the bodysuit, take off their underwear. You got to search their underwear. You got sock by sock. You got to search each sock. You know what I'm saying? So when they stand there butt naked, they got to put their hands up so they ain't got nothing in the palms of their hand. They got to open their mouth. They got to run their fingers through their mouth to make sure they ain't got no blades hanging all in their mouth. And then they got to turn around. They got to lift up the one bottom foot, the other bottom foot. And then they got to spread their behind. And you could be an a-hole officer and be sitting there like, and have them sit there. How embarrassing, uncomfortable it is to sit there and hold your butt cheeks open, wondering like Duke, I know you see that I don't have nothing in there, but you got to do that until the officer tell you it's all right while he's investigating to see if you have anything secreted in your behind. Another reason not to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? In extreme situations, you know, police and other feds, I know they probably got them all over the place. If they really think you have something in your hind parts, they got rooms that they'll put you in. And it's a waiting game. They take time around the clock. They sitting there and they're watching you. They got you on camera. You ain't hiding nothing. Ain't nothing. Guess what? The only thing in there is a slab of metal for you to sleep. They'll bring you food all day and a toilet and a sink. Trust me, you try to flush something, you try to get rid of something, it's going down in that drain into a container for them to search. So if you do got something there, you're going to be sitting there a long time, starving yourself. And it's a telltale thing. If you're starving yourself, that means that you don't want to eat because then you don't want to go to the bathroom. You got something. Because if you know that you don't have anything, you're going to eat in crap and be regular about it. They're watching you 24/7 to see your movement. So sooner or later, if you have something inside of you, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. So it's your boy Big G, the art of boofing. And boofing is just another term for keistering or secreting something in your hind parts to get it from point A to point B, because the officers ain't really going to be searching all that much. And there's not no metal in there that's going to be having the metal detector go off and go on and on and on. So that's crazy. So that's the art of boofing, the jail, Amazon, and UPS. Your boy, Big G, and I'm out.